Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you guys so much for coming. It's Janelli speaking. This summer, I worked on a women's rights campaign group, like Jenny said, but we focused on period poverty, and we created the Inaccessible Flow. I created this campaign with my partner, Lexi, whom I'll now pass it over to for introductions.
Okay, so like Janelli has stated, my name is Lexi. I was born and raised in Queens, and I'm going to be going into Queens College Macaulay Honors Program in the fall.
Hi, everyone. Like I said, my name is Janelli. I was born and raised in the Bronx, and I'm currently a rising junior at Marymount School of New York.
Okay, it's Lexi speaking again. So this issue, so I like animals, and a common hobby of mine is knitting slash crocheting. This issue matters to me, because I've always witnessed homeless women on the street, and I've always wondered how they are able to purchase necessary products to handle their menstrual cycles. And I just want to make these products more accessible to everyone.
It's Janelli speaking. A few hobbies or interests of mine is that I really enjoy playing volleyball with family or friends. I also really like to bake, especially in the winter time, and then you can have a nice warm treat. I also love being outdoors, whether it's going for a nature walk in the park or just sitting outside and taking in the sun. And this issue is important to me because being a teen girl, this issue impacts me directly. And I think it's just crazy to think that in the near future, I'm gonna have to get a job and pay for my own things, but more often than not, the workforce pays men higher and then they pay the women. And so I just think it's really unfair that we have to do a lot of spending on these products, which are very expensive. And it's an essential item. And I think that it's just very unfair that we have to pay for something that we can't control and products that we need and are essential to us as women. And you can also find this more posts all about us on our Instagram, which you guys, we'll show you guys later on. So now I'm gonna explain a little bit more about our logo and the meaning behind it. So we tried to be as inclusive as possible by including a gender neutral icon. And we did this because many people think that it's just people who identify as females that experience periods, but that's not true. Not just people that identify as females experience periods. People that are transgender or genderqueer can also experience periods. And so we chose to have an icon that's gender neutral. We also chose to have the icon's hand raised to show empowerment, which is a part of our mission. And we chose specifically the color purple for our flowers to be both inclusive of females and males, as well as all the identities in between, just because females are often represented by society by the color pink, while males are often represented by the color blue. And so when we merge those two colors, we try to include all the identities in between as well, and we get the color purple.
Okay, so it's Lexi speaking again. So the mission statement for Inaccessible Flow is Inaccessible Flow aims to educate the general public in New York City on the high cost that comes with menstrual cycles in order to end stigma, while also empowering people with menstrual cycles and providing them with necessary products to embrace their periods. The pandemic exacerbated so many issues, and period poverty was not the exception. This issue has gone too far unseen to still not do anything about it. So for our deliverables, we created an Instagram. We have 4 posts so far. We decided to make it for not only people who speak English, but also for people who speak Spanish, because they may not be able to access this information. They may not be aware that this is even an issue. So far we have posted 2 posts, one about explaining period poverty and the second one about period misconceptions. We also created a brochure. So this is the cover. We explained a little bit of the purpose of our campaign and our contact information, as well as certain fun facts that people may be unaware of. And then for the second page, we also explain period poverty, as well as a bit of who we are, our little slogan, end period poverty, so everyone can go with the flow, as well as resources where people can access free period products. And lastly, we created a link tree with additional resources that explain more about this issue. It explains fun facts. It also contains petitions for people to sign so we can help fight this issue, as well as certain resources in Spanish. And then we also have an email in which people can contact us. It is in.accessibleflow@gmail.com. I think everyone here should go follow our Instagram.
It's Janelle speaking again, and Lexi and I have a goal to reach 40 followers on our Instagram by the end of this year, and that's doubling more or less the amount of followers that we have right now, because we have an approximation of 22 followers right now. We would also like to collaborate with other organizations to have a greater outreach, such as COVID TV. COVID TV is an organization that was created during COVID as a way for teens to communicate with one another and connect, so that they wouldn't feel alone being quarantined and isolated in the pandemic. And we think that although this was meant to create a way for teens to connect during COVID, this could also be a greater form of outreach for our campaign, so that teens know that if they're going through this issue, they don't have to go through this issue alone. They have other people that are going through similar experiences. And we think that this is very important, because not many people think that period poverty is an issue, but it really is. So this would be a great way to connect with others and show them that they're not alone. And we just overall want to educate as many people as we possibly can on period poverty, as well as menstruation. And we will do this by keeping our Linktree updated. Like Lexi said, we have petitions on there, we have other information. We do have some interactive maps that we can see with rules. But we will keep the Linktree updated with any other laws that are passed, or reforms that are made to laws to make menstruation products more accessible. And we also aim to continue our campaign by keeping our Instagram account active. So every week, Lexi and I will switch off posting on our Instagram. We'll create new posts, as well as put things on our stories, share things that we have seen, and we will be sure to post on specific days that are related to our campaign. And another one of our goals is to have our voices heard by politicians by sending them petitions for reformation laws on this matter.
Thank you for listening. Are there any questions?
Any questions from our team? Yes,
well, also, I think that was amazing. I have to say, I'm very impressed that you picked this topic, because I think this is a topic that people don't talk about, and it's really an important topic. And so I'm really impressed that you picked this, and I hope that you'll continue with this topic, because I think it's definitely a taboo subject, and being able to talk about it is really important. And I think you all did so very eloquently. So I just want to congratulate you on that. I think that was really, really great. I'm curious, I know you mentioned like partnering with COVID TV. I was just kind of curious if you had other ideas about how you could disseminate information about this, because I don't think there are very many groups that are doing that.
We haven't given much thought about it besides COVID TV so far. Our main forms of outreach are our Instagram account on social media, and then also trying to spread our Linktree. We did have brochures to do if we ever did outreach in the city, but unfortunately that wasn't possible because of COVID and the new variant. But we will definitely try to keep looking for new ways to have a greater outreach to as many people as we can.
That's a great idea. And even thinking about, schools and colleges and all kinds of places where there are young people struggling with these issues, I think that's great. So I thought that was really terrific. And I'm really impressed you picked this topic. It's a great one.
Thank you. Chris just added a resource in the chat as well.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, and even doing research for this, there's not a lot of organizations, especially in New York. Like if the food bank was one place that we found where they're giving hygiene products. So it's like the disconnect there, like a food bank and then period products. And like we were thinking like, oh my God, it was just, I remember when we were doing research together, it was hard to find.
Mhm.
Caitlin?
Yeah, I don't have a question, but I just wanted to compliment them on thinking of the fact of putting it in 2 languages. Like they expanded their horizons with that. And I was like, wow, that's great. Like it made me like want to do that for our group too if we have time. So you guys did really well on that.
Thank you.
Cruz?
I'm going to say that I'm so amazed to see this subject that you guys picked, but I can see this subject matter actually taking it to the next level. Like for example, when people I had clients that said to me when they say when they're gonna get the period, they feel down, they feel certain way, and when they call the friend, oh, you again that PMS. So I can see now how it would be so like the platform to have conversations about mental health and about your health and about how your health can have and make an impact on your mental health or vice versa. So I can see this going like really, really, really far. I'm so glad that you picked this subject that I personally, in my 30 years of experience working in the mental health field, I never saw anyone having the courage to do it. And for that, congratulations to you. Job well done.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other feedback, team? I know Renella was also working with them briefly. Renella, any comments?
Hi everyone, just want to say congratulations to Lexi and Janelle. You guys did a really great job and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, Renella.